regarding the couples of Genesis. Let's return to the beginning of the story to resolve the problems in the love life in the present. Let's watch. Let's remind ourselves of some parts from the first couple who was Adam and Eve. Let's remember the story now. You can put the video, please.
Okay, you can go.
It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him.
This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. Eve, wake up. Come on, Eve, wake up.
Adam, the helper I have given you is strong, but this isn't how you should treat her.
It was her. The woman whom you gave to be with me. She gave me of the tree and I ate it.
And you, Eve, in pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you.
What are we gonna do now? Hey! What if we ask for forgiveness? Adam! Please! Talk to me! Speak to me! Ow! Ow! You're hurting me!
If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this situation. Because of you, we've been kicked out of our home.
You ate the fruit of your own will.
We've lost everything because of you. Shut up and stay over here.
I'm hungry.
Eat fruit. Isn't that your answer for everything?
Do you love me?
I'm still hungry.
Are you okay? Why did he do that to you?
You tell me, Eve, why?
You speak as if it were only my fault! You ate of the fruit too, didn't
Because
you?
you convinced me. Who came up with this cursed idea?
It was the serpent. It was him.
Do you see? This is what gets on my nerves. You don't admit your mistake.
And by any chance do you admit yours?
Leave me alone.
Very nice, right? If you watch the soap opera carefully, you can extract several lessons from it. When did the story of these two start? We are going to speak about the couples of Genesis, and each month we will learn, and for the next 6 months, until June, every month a couple from Genesis. First Adam and Eve, then Noah and his wife, then Abraham and Sarah, following through until Joseph and Asenath. Each character, each couple in Genesis has many lessons for us. So let's learn from them. We will learn their mistakes and successes, and this will help us correct ourselves. Many will see themselves in these characters. Many men will see themselves in these men, and women in the women. This is a great opportunity to have good references, correct references, and how we can change our present learning from past mistakes. Because at the end of the day, marriage started with God. God said like this when he created man. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that a man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him." Let's focus today on this part here. It is not good that a man should be alone. It's not good for a man, and it's not good for a woman. What does this mean? What is the importance of this for us today? You can even live alone. You can even be a solitary person. But it's not good for you. The human being wasn't made to live alone. He needs. God created the human being in a way that the human needs, especially a partner, a person closer to them. We also need other human beings. We are not an island. It's a need. We need different people that exist on the earth. But principally, our partner, that person that God put in our life to help us with those blind spots that exists in us. What is a blind spot? A blind spot is when you're driving. You know, when you're driving, when you're learning to drive, you have a blind spot. There's a part where you can't see, neither with a mirror in front of you, nor with the lateral mirrors. You have to turn various times. You have to drive very carefully so that you don't crash into someone or something. So just like in driving, there are blind spots in our life. We also have blind spots that we cannot see. And this is a big problem. We don't see where we are making mistakes. But the moment you get married, you have a person that will help you find your mistakes quickly. So your spouse helps you to see things that alone you can't see. And it's not for the evil. Don't think that the person is irritating. They are demanding, annoying. They want to help because they are seeing something that we don't see. So for this and other reasons, it's not good for a man to be alone, for a person to live alone. You can even live alone, but it's not good for you. It's much better that you have someone and enjoy this person helping you to become a better person. So the big fact is, nowadays, even married couples are living alone. Even married couples feel abandoned, alone. Like you saw in a video, it was the two of them that sinned, and each tried to blame each other. Adam immediately turned into someone selfish. He cast Eve away. He was angry with her. He blamed her because he started to think about himself, blaming her for what he also did wrong. And these attitudes still exist today in people's lives. And the human being has developed this individualism that's extreme. And I think the times we are living now, We are seeing the pinnacle of individualism. Never has the human being been so selfish, so egocentric, so individualistic, and so disposable at the same time. Because this is how relationships have become. There's a little problem after 3 marriage, and they want divorce. In other words, people are becoming disposable and individualistic.
And many people also they become lonely in their relationship when you think just about yourself. There is the people who really are, they're not given attention by their partner, but then there is also the one who just thinks about themselves. Their dreams are theirs. Their goals are theirs. It's what they want, it's what they like, it's what they always thought, and that's all. And this is to be an individualist. It's the contrary of a relationship. The life of a single person, for you to be a single person, you can have this life. It's what I want. Yeah, it's what you want because it's just you. So you can do what you want. If you want to go over there, go over there. There's no problem. But with two, you don't have that right anymore. Now it's not just what you want, it's what both of us can do. It's about both of us now. So when I was single, I liked to go out. But I got married, and now I married someone that doesn't like to go out. And now, for me to keep this and maintain this relationship, I'm going to have to adapt to like the way that person is. And that's where many marriages, they make a mistake because they don't want to submit to that. They want to continue as if they were single inside of a marriage. But they don't say, look, I'm living my life as a single person. They say, no, that's how I am. That's my personality. You married me like this, and now you have to accept me like this. They want to have a relationship, but with their own conditions and conditions of a person who was not in a relationship. And it doesn't work like that. So when God said it's not good for man to be alone, it's even important to say this because, he says this in the Garden of Eden. God says this in Eden when everything was perfect, not afterwards. It was before when he used to walk with Adam, to talk with Adam. And for him to say it's not good for man to be alone, it's because he saw that that he really needed to learn how to have a relationship. God knew how to have a relationship, but Adam didn't. So, putting yourself in Adam's shoes, imagine you're created and they told you, look, you're in charge of everything here. You can give the animals their names. You can do what you want. You are the owner of all of this. This is the garden, and you can be living here in this garden. Adam, thank you, right? Cool, I'm going to take advantage. He wasn't giving God anything, he was just receiving. So God saw, he noticed it's not good for him to be alone because he's not giving back anything. He's not, having a relationship with me. I'm giving to him, but he's not giving to me. So he created a woman for Adam to learn how to have a relationship with another person. So for you to have a relationship, you need to give. You need to give yourself. You need to make sacrifices for that person. If you're in a relationship where that person has to do everything for you, you're not able to make them happy, and you yourself are not going to be happy. You probably already noticed that when you do something for someone and that person gets really happy, you're even happier than them. Because we get delighted in making someone else happy. Like the Bible says, like the Lord Jesus said, that it's better to give than to receive. So in a relationship, we get this pleasure, this delight for you to be able to do something and think about that other person. Now it's not just about yourself. The world doesn't revolve around you. Now it's, what does he think? What does he need? How can I make this person happy? And with this, you feel good about yourself, because you start to understand the value of a relationship.
A big difficulty that we see is with the majority of people when they get married, the change of mind, because a change happens here, firstly, and because it doesn't change here. For many people, nothing changes here. The change of me, for us, a person gets married thinking like this. Before getting married, they had their family, mother, father, sibling, their work, their life. And they got married thinking, now I will add this person to my life. I will add them. I will bring this person into my life, the person that I love, and they won't mess around with anything that I already have, which is very good. How wrong. You think that you will bring this person into your life and they will not touch anything that you have already had or were before getting married? And then you get married. And when you want to continue living that life that you had before, but now being married. You want this person just to become a plus in your life. You want the good times and you share with them, but you don't want them to touch anything of what you already had so far. And this doesn't work. This will never work. God said a man should leave his father and mother and will be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Think about this in a blatant way. Let's be frank here. The two becoming one flesh. Imagine two people having to live in one body. In other words, after getting married, I have to enter into Cristiane's body, or Cristiane enters into my body. The two turn into one flesh. For me to live here and inside her too, the two of us living in just one body, some part of me will need to remain outside. And a part of her will have to depart because there won't be space inside. Do you agree? Yes or no? So, if two become just one flesh living in one body, naturally, logically, one part of the body of them will have to stay outside, which is the me part. The part of myself that has been sacrificed in order to be transformed into us. And the majority of couples can't do this. There are people that have been married for 10, 20, 30, 50 years, but they still haven't become one flesh. They haven't managed it. It's not because they can't. It's because they are afraid. They're stubborn. They're insisting on remaining as one. So, while a person insists on living as just one, the person will never enjoy this us that God intended, this one flesh that is much better than being alone. But because of this selfishness, because you cling to things and bring that into married life, and certain things that you want to enjoy in married life means you will have to give some things up. There's no other way. For example, daddy and mommy, brothers, sisters, all of them will need to come after your spouse when you get married. Because if you want to become just one person, one flesh with your spouse, and here in between you have father, your mother, your siblings, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like this. You need to maintain, you need to put your family of origin after your spouse because this person won't accept to come after. That's why it's written, you will leave father and mother. You need to leave. To leave doesn't mean abandon, but to leave means that you are forming a new family, a new flesh here. A new family is starting. After marriage, your family of origin becomes relatives. Family now is here. Look, just here is the family. My family today is Cristiane. Not even our son is family because he's already married. He's formed his own. He already has married. He has his daughter. He has formed his family. He's our son. But his family today is not us. His family is his wife and his daughter. We are our family. Her parents are relatives, and my parents are relatives. We are family. And it's like this concerning family with work. If you want to put work, your career, your achievements, you want to succeed professionally, you have to work, especially for men, and more for women. But especially for men who see work as your self-value, it's something that is very important to him to have success. It's very important for him to do well at work. So he's a man that gives all his work because he wants to earn money. He wants to have a comfortable life. And many times he leaves his family aside and his wife aside. And when she complains, asking for just a little bit of attention, he gets annoyed because he says, can't you see that I'm working for you to be able to give you this life, this house, to give you this and that? You want to be the best in a marriage. It's not the money. Money will be good. But the best, I didn't marry for money. I married you. Sometimes it's not even because you want a better material life for your family that you work so much. It's because you put yourself before your family. Your professional success is more important to you than your marriage. If you were really honest with yourself, you would recognize this. Many here will recognize this. Many women here will recognize this. That your professional success is more important than your marriage. We see this clearly in celebrities' lives. A celebrity knows that they have a short period of fame, like a football player. They arrive at an age where they can't play anymore. So a celebrity knows that their fame will go by very fast. So when they're on the crest of the wave, they want to put all their efforts into their career, into their fame, and if they're married, if they are in a relationship, the partner will have to understand. They have to travel, they have to do shows, they have to do this, they have to do that. If they don't have time for him or her, it's their problem. My career is my wife, is my husband. You can see this clearly, and this is the main reason why the majority of celebrities are weak when it comes to love, because the me is first. So, marry your work, marry your money, your career. But know one thing, you will end up alone. And it's not good.
No. And their way as well, which is something that is very normal, very common. You have your ways and you've always been like that. For example, you're a person who is very aggressive, you're very anxious, you're impulsive, and you get married to someone that is not like you. So you're there on the 220 volts, and the way you are, being this aggressive person, you see how you're always ahead of the other person. You leave the other person behind, and you don't care that other person, who is your husband, your wife, they need to be by your side. But because you're so agitated, you're Perhaps because you're a person that really likes to have friends, and you're always so close to social media, to your cell phone, to friends. You're always there talking to people. You make a lot of friends easily, and that is affecting your relationship. Your husband or your wife is arguing with you, is upset with you because of that, and you say, "No, but those are my friends. They're my social networks. Oh, because I like it. I really like this. I like that." Meaning you're giving a lot of value to the things that you like and the way that you are and what you've always done. That's to be an individualist. It doesn't work. That doesn't work in a relationship. There's no way. It doesn't match. Many people, because they want to be so focused on themselves, to be an individualist in a marriage, and they want the marriage to work, it's not going to work. Unless you want to put the other person completely down, meaning you want to annihilate that person. They don't have a choice on anything. They don't make any decisions. They completely lose themselves because they don't have any opinion anymore. You take away their rights to think. They don't have a right to give their opinion. They don't say anything that's worth speaking unless you want to live in an abusive relationship and you're the abuser. But in a relationship, we don't have that anymore of me, I want, I think. So I have a certain way. I had a certain way that I would speak with Renato, and he would complain about that. But I was always that way. In my house, nobody ever complained. But suddenly, I'm married, and my husband is saying, "I don't like when you speak like that with me." So I had to decide, am I going to continue speaking this way to him because that's Christianity and he married me like that? I've always been like that. What's the problem? Or am I going to change? So I had to change. He needed to have patience because, your whole life was a certain way. You can't change from night to day. He needed to have patience, but I changed. I learned how to speak to Renato. So we had to change. Renato had to change as well. He wouldn't be a person who spoke a lot. He continues because you see the part of his work where he speaks. But husband Renato doesn't talk too much. But today he speaks because he knows that I need him to speak to me. So he had to sacrifice his, closed way of not wanting to share anything, and he had to sacrifice that way of his. It was more comfortable for him to stay the way he was, but he had a problem with me. And we have to decide whether we're going to make that extra effort to change, to have this person, or am I going to stay in my comfort zone saying that I've always been like this, that's how I am, and lose that person.
Yes, because it's either change or be alone. It's this. This is what the word says. It's not good for a man to be alone. And something that you have to ask, if you ask yourself, husband, could it be that my wife is feeling alone? Because you are the type of husband from carrying a heavy shopping bag for her to perhaps accompany her to the doctor when she needs, or sharing a problem that is overwhelming. Is she married to you, but at the same time feeling alone because you're the type of husband that tells her, make a way. Do it yourself. You only focus on your work and bringing money home. But at the same time, she hasn't got a husband. Could it be, wife, that your husband also, despite being a married man, is actually alone? It's as though he doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have a wife because he doesn't have a wife affectionately. He doesn't have a wife that has time. He doesn't have a wife in his bed. The wife that doesn't look after him. Many women and wives complain, oh, my husband practically lives at his mom's house. Could it be that at his mother's house there has hot food, there's care and affection from his mom? It could be that he's going there because he feels alone. Maybe you're abandoning this person affectionately, abandoning them materially, physically. It's an abandonment that people are living within the marriage. This is not good. It's worse than being single. Did you know that? It's worse than being single. At least when you're single, you know there's no one yet, but married and not having a person, you feel like rubbish. And I know that at times this happens without you wanting it. But you know that now you are knowing. Now you are being alerted. So you need to stop and think. My wife got married not to stay alone. So you need to find ways to be present, to be a companion. The two together sharing this life and not remain alone, each in his own corner.
And the singles, they can already start preparing themselves, because many times a person doesn't have this understanding and they get married, and then they have problems in their marriage because they never had this understanding. But you who are single, you're being able to know this beforehand so that you can already start to prepare yourself. Maybe if you're dating someone, if you're engaged, but you can really think, am I going to be ready to share everything with this person? Am I going to serve this person? Or am I wanting to take advantage of them? Am I going to serve, to help, to add to their life? Or am I thinking of taking something from them away? The single person can already start to analyze to see if they're really ready for a relationship, because a relationship is not just to take. It's not to take, actually. It's to add, to give. I need to add to him. How am I going to make you happy? So that's why God gave Eve to Adam, for him to take care of her and for her to help him. You see, God didn't say, I'm going to give you Eve for her to be serving you. No, it's for you to take care of her. You're going to leave your mother, father, and you're going to become one with her. So the order and the origin of marriage, the initial creation, was this. You're going to take care of her and she's going to help you. Meaning they both have a function of giving, not of receiving, of giving.
The single person can practice this with their family. Learning to share, not being selfish. Sharing with their family. Being more of a servant. Being more present in the life of their family. Because the training for marriage is in the family relationships. It's your friendships, your relationship at work. If you are a selfish person today and you think you will get married and this will change, it will be a key. It won't. This week on the program, there was a testimony of a girl. She said she was a completed person. I'm single and I don't need a man. You know that kind of person? That single person? Until she met a guy that she fell in love. And she got married, but it was a disaster. It was a disaster. Why? Because she got married with this thought. I'm single and I don't need anyone. I don't need a man. So at the same time she was like this, she also wanted love by her side. You have to understand that if I want a happy marriage, I have to understand that it's not good to live alone. So I have to start to practice this already with the people that are part of my life. To share. Amen? So in this spirit, we'll continue next week speaking more about Adam and Eve, the first couple in this series.